Alrighty, just setting up the stage, everyone. Let's go through a little bit of a mic test while we can yawn. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Yourself?
Yeah, great, mate. Great. And Shiti, just joining stage. How are you going tonight, Shiti?
Hi, Barndog. Pretty excited. You? How are you doing?
I am
I
doing
think
awesome.
Shiti is still as a listener. Can anyone invite her to be the speaker?
Not sure if you could hear Shiti then yawn. She's come across loud and clear for me. Shiti, you've heard me, of course, because you responded. So do you want to say something else and see if Yawn just double check he's there?
Mic testing 1, 2, 3 at Stepn. Yawn, can you hear me?
Yep.
Good. And I think
And
we
we'll just
need to get Jerry on stage now.
How's your mic tonight, Jerry? We haven't heard you in a full month.
Hello. I'm pretty good.
that nervous pause. Okay, we'll give people a couple more minutes to tune in. You can see everyone's kind of joining in. Just under 1,000 there. Big town hall, very, very big town hall this week. SMT has been named.
Sorry, what's that, Barndog?
No, that's all right. I was just saying we've got a name for it now. It's the SMT.
That's it.
Giving it an acronym. It's getting there. We're getting used to all these long acronyms and all that, but this is just a good one. The old SMT for July.
Yes, we're getting inspired by all the creativity that ambassadors are showing out there with their own mnemonics, logos, brand names. That's truly wonderful.
Where are we? Another couple minutes. Where are you at the moment, Shiti? You've been doing a few hosts and stages, but you're not in England at the moment, are you?
I am in hot and summery England. There is a heat wave going on here. I know heat waves definition is different for different parts of the world. So it's about 31 degrees here, and it's quite hot because places, rooms, hotels, they're not built for this kind of summer here.
I remember Big Bob was saying the other day, we had him on a space, and he's going, "Oh, it was really, really hot today. It was 26 degrees." And I'm going, "What?" But then we did have Aman on stage from India, and he was saying, yeah, it's 45 degrees for them. So in Rajasthan. So, I mean, yeah, absolutely different for everybody. And it was a really interesting part to that was 20 of the 25 people all had walkers. So they all bought shoes to accommodate the fact that it was so much hotter there for them. And there wasn't a lot of runners. But that was a really interesting part from the day, the learnings.
Nice.
45 degrees, but I mean, it is 10 o'clock. We've got all of our guests on stage. We've got Yawn, Jerry, and Shiti joining us. It is the July SMT, so Stepn Monthly Town Hall. We've got confirmation this week that the aim going forward is going to be the second Wednesday of every month. Some people thought that there was the mix in communications. It might have been the 15th, might have been the 13th, but following a trajectory now going forward of being the second Wednesday. So the time's the same as last time, so it seems to be good for a midday UTC. Obviously, that can change depending on the month. But welcome to stage. I believe, Shiti, you've got an introduction for us today about sort of how we're going to go today's town hall.
Yeah, thanks, Barndog. Just wanted to set the stage on the key themes that we will cover. So we will be talking about Ape Realm. That should be on top of minds for people, considering all the open letters and the announcements and the teasers that we have recently released. Following that, we will talk in detail about our app updates, the latest of which we launched this morning with Health Points. Following that, we'll talk a little bit about Dora and Q2, all the releases that we've done so far. We'll talk a little bit about marketing initiatives that are in pipeline. And finally, the main section of this would be the community questions, which Gilgamesh has very kindly collected from all the community in the Google form. So thanks to everybody who took the time and effort in sending us the questions. We went through all of them and clubbed as many as we could into this AMA. Then I just wanted to mention one last thing, which is that in the spirit of increased written communication and transparency, you may find that a lot of info that we talk about today already being covered on Twitter threads or Medium. But just want to make sure that founders have the stage to interact directly with the community. And that's why we do this. And we will keep doing this every month. And we will then be dissecting some of the pain points and the questions with Barndog. So enough said, over to you, Yawn, to talk about the updates.
Well, Yawn. So first one, the app updates. That's amazing, Shiti, and probably worth mentioning. You may also be joining on stage later on through the weekend as well with the community podcast.
Yes, looking forward to it.
All right, Yawn. The app updates. It's a huge week. We've had a lot of updates. It was really awesome to hear the fact of Shiti talking about how there was that big 10 of 10 tweet today, and we got a lot of information before tonight. So a lot of people were confused about that, but very good to see the transparency there. It gives us time to soak in, see where some things are, and be ready to go for the stage. But how would you like to start off, John?
I think we can just do a little bit of a rundown of the update for the upcoming update, and also a little bit of a wrap up of what we have been done in the past couple of weeks regarding with the 8 rounds, and then we can move on and talk about other things. Really, I think one of the updates we bring out today is the health point, where we find out address the main issues with the infinite life with NFTs that normally are prominent in the GameFi sort of industry, where if we have an infinite life NFT without sort of a restoration, what we call restoration on HPs, then we probably gonna eventually having issues. So we introduced HP as a way to curb that. So we want to do it in a mild way, meaning that it will be sort of a long-term reductions on the sneakers LP, HP, if you keep using it. For example, let's say with a Royal or Epic sneakers, you probably only need to repair it every year. So you do that like a car, right? You do like a 1-year service, and then you're good to go for another year. So we figured that would be a better way rather than give like a definitive lifespan of NFTs, because we have seen there are projects using this type of mechanics and didn't go well. So we're sort of going with the middle ground. Yes, you can repair it, but you will have a cost and different from the durability or resilience, which you're probably going to have to repair every day or every week. And with the new health point of update, you only need to do it like quarterly or yearly.
So the big one there, you talk, Yawn, on the health points. It's an amazing concept, and I see games are handling it differently. But then, what about the common sneakers for the people that are using 1 to 3 sneakers at the start? This was a very big one earlier. People are kind of worried at the chance that they may be hampered to actually play the game to any kind of level from that baseline start.
The design is to having the HP as a sort of you only to do it like once every couple of years. So we actually are deliberately design it so that people don't have to do it regularly. So we have make the tiers for common and uncommon. So I would say people just need to find out, because we will release the update fairly soon.
Awesome. I love it. And we may talk about that later on down the track, because we've got some questions to get through from the community as well. So then would you like to go into the next point for the app update, the app updates coming up?
Yeah, so the upcoming update basically is the preparation for the Abrams. We have built the not only within the app but also a series of infrastructure. For example, is the DEX. We have built our Ethereum version of DEX, and we have built the same version of wallet, the Abrams, of course, and we have also made a few UI UX change to reflect several compliance requirements, and also introducing the HP update. We will talk about with the Genesis sneaker. We're probably gonna having that identified in the app as well. So overall, we basically are working very hard to improve the existing UI UX mechanics, and basically to build this as a long-term project. As again, we with the HP, it is again sort of a long-term token sync, where we want to sort of get the GMT earning up and running. So that's another thing. So basically, the dev team be working on delivering additional GMT and GST use cases so that we will meet the criteria of GMT earning.
So that comes into the 5 into 1 enhanced system as well. That's getting a change in the app updates, isn't it?
Yes. So basically, all the enhancement, sort of a burner sneaker will require have a min +3. Basically, is a way to turn a lot of higher min sneakers, and basically to reduce those min 3 sneaker supplies.
And that kind of comes towards highlighting the GMT use case, doesn't it? It forces us to do the mints, the second and the third mint, and be burning GMT on those sneakers to be able to make them eligible down the track to actually enhance.
Yeah, and also another point that is with the low HP sneakers, that also can be the burner sneaker for the enhancement.
Say that again, Yawn. Sorry, the low HP. So obviously it's got to be at 100 HP, 100% HP to be able to be listed on the marketplace.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that if you have a low HP sneaker, you can use it as a burner sneaker for the enhancement.
Oh, I see. So it's one way of avoiding needing to repair it.
Yeah.
There was some things in the announcements as well regarding mystery boxes. A bit of a change. We saw you opened up a level 9 today, so you're obviously playing the game yourself with the mystery boxes to experiment and play around with that.
Yes, so we always want to again balance between the GST earning, the gem hunting, and down the track we have the marathon mode for the resilience, and we have the GMT earning for the comfort. So this is another again we're trying to introduce a different way of playing by giving the mystery box a buff, but proportionally we actually also increase the cost of opening the mystery box, meaning that you're getting much more by you additionally paying more on the GST. As GST become cheaper, basically we want to enable another form of play style.
Yeah, it definitely is a third play style. You can either earn GST when GMT comes out, or you can play the mystery box game and earn in the native token, either Solana, Binance, or come Ethereum. So we discussed several things there. And then, of course, the UI UX changes. That's going to be, I believe it was for Apple. iOS as needing changes.
It's really about releasing we're actually releasing a web-based marketplace, so people can actually gain access to users to the marketplace through login. We will release that on our official website, so people actually can having a different access of their let's say account through our website, and also access to the NFT marketplace through our website.
So I guess the biggest question I've got here, because the web-based marketplace, the main website which is launched, there's going to be the issue of a lot of people have created a web wallet through the game app. A lot of people are obviously new users. A third, we know, 30% are roughly new users. So is there going to be an in-game link to be able to make that happen, or are people going to need to connect up to something like a Phantom wallet and learn that part of the journey?
No. Okay. So we have been working on this quite a while. So we have been able to make the entire user experience pretty seamlessly. So I think people just need to wait for another day, then they can see it for themselves. It is actually very, very intuitive to navigate, and also sort of hassle-free to use. So basically, you log in with your username and password, and then you will gain access.
I like it. That's an important one, isn't it? Because we've onboarded so many new users, we need to make this system robust to be able to have them make through the system without making mistakes that we may make on other platforms.
Yes, and also we would like to use this as a sort of way to gain more, not experience, but to basically to improve on top of it. So basically, we will talk about spin-off in-app features to external products. So this will be something that we are working on.
Okay, I guess there's one more thing worth mentioning from the in-app updates. The Realm 3 minting cost, that was mentioned, and the mint cooldown. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we actually are reviewing the mint cost on the Realm 3 and also the timers. And now we're probably going to bring it up to 40 hours and also have a lower cost. And it's really to enable a evenly distributed and fair market on the third realm. So basically, we have done a lot of modelings and studies, and we figured that with this type of setup and with how we distribute the sneakers, we will achieve a much robust ecosystem on the third realms.
So we guess with seeing that hyperinflation of the price of GST on Binance, how it hit that 48 marker, $48 thereabouts, hoping that this may be a sink to not allow it to go as high as that. People are going to be able to freely mint quite easily with that 90 and that 10 use case.
Yeah, I mean, it's really to having sneaker evenly distributed, not centralized distributed. So this is the reason that we've done various of ways to distribute our ape realm sneakers. So some to the ape holder, some to the Genesis sneaker holder, and then a bit of raffle, some to the enhancement, also help with the old realms ecosystem. So we pretty much did from different angles and make sure that the holder no small number of people holding a large portion of sneakers.
Yeah, and that was obviously the team's talked about that before, that, the second realm being the experimentation, only the first 2,000 launch. And then, of course, the OGs coming out with another 6,000 to 8,000. The number's really hard for us to know. But so it's a lot more evenly distributed. You're adjusting the mint costs. There was a lot of discussion in the community regarding the dynamic minting not holding up during that. But, I mean, the team has learned from that, haven't they, Yawn?
Yes, and also I think another thing that I like to point out is that we are in probably the worst recession we're going to see from the 2008. So I will look at the community questions. A lot of them are related to the GST, and again, I think we are trying everything that we can possibly do to restore the ecosystems of the across realms, one, and also to the newer realms. So, but again, we also have to fight against the external sort of environment. So it will be an uphill battle, but we do believe that I come from more of a previous cycle, so we have seen that what bear market can do to people and to the project. But once we persevere and get through that, I do believe that in a longer term and for what we build, we are long-term focused. It will come on top. This is basically our belief. So I think it's really to address more of the community concern. It is important to address of the current market conditions, and it's also we are trying a lot. Probably we're going to talk about it later. We're trying a lot from different angles to address not only bringing Web2 users to the app, but also to building more robust newer realms on Stepn. So if I think with the learnings we have done and also with the tools we have and peoples we are hiring, I think we are very confident that we will get through this together and also come on top in the future.
So we had some really great announcements over the last 2 weeks as well regarding the door. That's been a huge success from Solana, and you're saying that the Ethereum side is being built out as well, and Binance is being built out as well at the same time. Isn't that that's come through as announcements beforehand? So do you want to talk a little bit about Door and how that's going to relate to the rest of the Stepnverse?
Yes, so it is basically part of the bigger picture of building a much bigger ecosystem than just Stepn, and then use Stepn as a gateway for onboarding users, especially Web2 users. And Door is one of the infrastructures we're building, the DEX. So it comes in several phases. In August, we will starting to having a front end of Door basically, and once we have the front end, it will no longer serve Stepn exclusively. It will starting to serve external users. For people want to, let's say, create LP pairs or adding their tokens to our DEX. And this is actually I think this is the first cross-chain DEX. So we're having the Solana, we have the Ethereum, we have the BNB. And basically just trying to create like a one-stop shop for people needing DEX for tradings. So portion of the profit base go back to the Stepn community by buying back sneakers and GMTs. So this is basically the midterm vision of Dora, and we are aiming to have that done around August, September.
So the same thing then, this is all going to be on the main website, stepn.com. And like you're saying, it's going to be intuitive to be able to go on and use that for the front end for the DEX.
Okay, so the DEX will be a separate website because it is a spin-off from the Stepn project. So we had a sort of the DEX before, and now we create the own spin-off DEX, and then it has its own sort of brand called Dora, and it will have its own website, but it shares the GMT utilities. So basically, everything that we do, if you need to consume tokens, will be the GMT we consume on Dora, or if giving like a LP pair reward, it's also going to be related to GMT as well. So yeah, so that's what I mean by spin-off.
Okay, very cool, very cool. We had the Q2 profits as well, Yawn. They were announced pretty huge numbers during a bear market. Do you want to go into the profits? And it was good to see that launched. A lot of people asking. It's nice to get that transparency out there and know what the team is making. And it was quite successful, you'd have to think, during a bear market for a second quarter.
Yes, and I think this is again the reason that we are confident that we'll get through this bear market. That I don't know how long this bear market is going to last, but definitely that we are actually much luckier than other projects if they are facing issues with their runways. But definitely we will have a much longer runway, and to continue to build infrastructures and continue to hire people. We are basically on hiring a lot of people now, building different project concurrently. We are so probably in the next month we can talk about more project we are building, and be more interesting. But we are hiring. We are basically building a much robust blockchain infrastructures. Again with servers, because we do face a tremendous amount of DDoS attack on daily basis, and yeah. So also we are also thinking about. We have a lot of think recently about how could we expand the ecosystems, meaning that how could we target or better target the Web2 audience, where we're thinking if we are building a bridge, the bridge should be sort of both way. It cannot be just one way from Web2 to Web3. It also has to be Web3 to Web2. So we are also thinking about building more of brick and mortar business. So this is something actually we were thinking not to do previously, but now we are actually considering entering into more of a wholesaling or retailing business, because that is where we can get much closer to the non-crypto users, and to influence on their brand perceptions. So I'm actually working on this side project. We're trying to create our own branded Stepn water and beverages brand, and then using that as a sort of advertising canvas to reach to bigger audience, and that will require a little bit of investment from our end. But I think it will be worth it, because we haven't seen any actually Web3 company doing reverse integrations into the traditional business world. Because really, when talk about traditional business world, we talk about like a 10% profit and long hours and a lot of laboring works. But we feel that it will be actually very good opportunities for us to build distribution channels to reach to them, and to get the brand name in front of them. And when the time is come, we do a bit of educations, we do a bit of marketings, and then we'll be able to make the conversions.
Wow, so you're talking going back in traditional things like branded water and beverages. So is this to kind of make it as a total product, being a move to earn, getting into events, getting into marathons, and then being able to supply those, and then they become a much bigger brand in the general public?
Yeah, so I mean that create perfect synergies, because we will be sponsoring marathon, we'll be sponsoring events, and having waters at the event as, let's say, giveaway or just sitting there for people to use. It will become a very good marketing sort of tools. And so basically, if the business pay for itself, we are literally getting free advertisings at a massive scale.
And it gives us another thing we can go and buy with our GST and our GMT.
Yeah, we actually are also exploring that, and also we are working on another few feasibility studies. So really what we consider is, in this typical crypto or financial bear market, everybody, get crashed or wrecked. The retail end or the non-crypto end are still insensitive of what happened, in the financial market. So those are the people that will be actually more inclined to give a try. and those are but naturally, as a Web3 company, you will have difficulties to approach them. But with a traditional business brand, and when you're marketing a Stepn water as a water brand, you actually are having this opportunity to approach to these users without sort of hard selling them a product. It's really about being influential to them and building the brand image, and then you work your way to sort of educate them about Web3 and move to learn world Stepn.
Very cool. I guess we've gone through all of that. We are obviously going to have a lot of questions that we've pulled in, and from there. Shiti, did you have anything else you want to talk on what we've just gone through there from Yawn with the profits and the previous door with those sections?
No, that was perfectly captured. Actually, I just want to say to what Yawn mentioned towards the end, the effort and the intent there is to build a holistic marketing brand, whether that is in Web 2 or Web 3. All our initiatives are geared and targeting towards making people leading healthy lifestyles. So if that means partnering with marathons, with on-ground events, so be it. And in that line, I would just want to give a shout out to all our lovely ambassadors. For example, Bruno, who will become a brand new ambassador for us and will be competing in biggest Ironman event in the world. And we're going to have Stepn all over his tri-suit. And plus, he's going to host a Stepn event in Hawaii before the big triathlon event. So it's things like these that matter to our brand. Similarly, our brand ambassador, Fire Launcher, just organized one of the largest Stepn meetups in Europe, where players donated to local childhood cancer charities, and Stepn also matched their charity. So doing a little bit of good in the world from our side. And then not to mention, there are events happening in US, Portland, the one that just happened in India. I know you, Barndog, with Brain are organizing a special Euro trip in October, November. And there's a Southeast Asian trip also coming up in September, October. French team is organizing stuff in ETHCC this month, I think. And then not to mention several other Web3 events as well, such as KuCoin, GameFi Asia, SCB 10X, and many more. So we're taking a holistic approach through everything that we do. And then there are many collaborations that are coming up again in offline space as well as Web3 space. So stay tuned in for more on our marketing efforts.
Definitely there's lots happening around the world, isn't it? And even with the ambassador side of things, Shiti, we've got a whole lot gearing up, and we're seeing a lot of great tweets from associate ambassadors joining up. And there was a ice skater I noticed today in Belarus, and there's just so many coming through. So it's great to see the ambassadors really taking a hold, and the events happening throughout all of Europe, throughout all of the world. We've had several here in Australia as well.
Yeah, focusing on the offline event will be something that we were starting to pick up, in the more of a current market condition. So yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome to hear about Bruno. We'll have to do a bit of research into that. So the biggest Ironman event. I mean, we've been talking to a lot of people through different spaces and seeing how important the communities are that are these Web 2.0. They're already around the world competing in these amazing events. So the Ironmans are a pretty huge event. So it'd be very cool to see what that is, and the Hawaii one. So very, very awesome. We have a lot of questions to get into today. Do we want to fire into those?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, please.
The big one I think everybody wants to know about at the moment is the eighth realm. So it's a huge announcement, the third realm. What is the eighth realm? What is the realm 3?
Yes, and we've taken all efforts to explain it in writing as much as we can. So, just quickly summarizing, this is our third realm. It's built on Ethereum, and that's what is called as Ape Realm. And the difference is not just changing or adding a new chain, but really focusing on inclusiveness. You know, we keep talking about this bridge. The idea is, how do we onboard the next 100 million users onto Web3 rails? So we want to integrate newer communities. We want to expand our user base, making Stepn the premier Web3 lifestyle app. Therefore, Ape Realm will provide access to innovative new realm to all the Stepn users. And therefore, we just aspire for this initiative as a testing ground to become a launchpad for Stepn to explore additional partnerships in future.
And obviously, being the third realm, the third blockchain, Ethereum. Why did we pick Ethereum? There's obviously several choices. Did that work for itself? It was a simple choice.
Yes, I mean, the question is why not? Because Ethereum is one of the highlights in the blockchain world. From its launch in 2014 to today, Ethereum has brought nothing but innovation, decentralization, and has withstood numerous stress tests. So it is pretty much the epitome and what Web3 stands for. So, in order for us as Stepn to unite a larger community and continuously enhance our reach, Stepn was a very obvious choice. Yes, there is a question on gas fee, and we're very aware it may affect overall user experience. But most of Stepn functions today can be completed off chain without consuming gas fee, and therefore cutting the cost of using Stepn, regardless of whatever chain you're on. And we will continue to develop more abundant and innovative features as well to increase and improve the existing capabilities.
It's definitely going to be one that we all have to learn, Ethereum, and how to compete, having been spoilt on Solana. But I think it was a great choice personally, Ethereum. So we know that it is on the layer one. It's not a layer two choice. It's just straight on the Ethereum, and we combat that by doing most of our actions within the game, within the app.
That's right. And some of the most popular products are built on Ethereum out there, not just NFTs, and therefore BAYC was an obvious choice. Currently, there was a very little overlap between BAYC and Stepn community members. BAYC, without a doubt, is one of the leading frontier communities in NFT world. So again, in line with our mission to be the bridge, in line with our mission to onboard the next 100 million users, in line with a mission for inclusiveness, it just made complete sense to open the Ape Realm the way we did.
So how are we going to have positive impact on realms 1 and 2 from being on Ethereum? How is that going to impact on Solana and Binance?
So really, I think we address this. So everything I think we do in Light, we always consider the older realms. With new realm introduction, we actually are bringing people that we couldn't bring in the past. And these were also creating marketing attentions. We are creating, let's say we have this tweet that all the ape holders have to make the tweet, really just to reach into new audience, and for them that don't want to join the realm 3, they can welcome to join realm 1 and 2 to sort of give a exploration or test run. So that's 1. And 2 is that it will accelerate the GMT burning a lot on the new realms and achieving our criteria of GMT earnings. I think again, GMT earning as the ultimate balancer with GST earning, we feel it is important, and we feel that we have to accelerate the GMT burning so that we can fast track the opening of GMT earnings. And also, not only the new realms, we have building, as I said, other infrastructures that will contribute to the GMT burnings and then fast track the earnings. And also, with the newer enhancement we've done, it have burned hundreds of thousands of sneakers, basically just to reduce the sneaker supplies and then support on the floor price. So we also considering now with all the realms, when we are working with new partners for new item release, collaborations, we will giving a priority to the older realms. So in the next couple of months, people are starting to see new partnerships join the NFT release on the older realms, which basically will bring additional attention to the older realms. And again, with all the revenue generation on the realm 3, portion of them alongside with the 5% of the total profit we made, while contributing to 1, GMT burnings, and 2, older realms buyback and burns. So, there's a lot of consideration has been put into older realms with JT and GMT and sneaker floor price support. The latest introduction of the comfort gems burning of HP restorations is another one that will help to alleviate the GMT, the comfort gems, because currently all the gems have a use cases except the comfort gems. So again, before we release the GMT earning, we would like to provide some actual functionalities to the comfort gems. So that's roughly what we've done with the newer realms could potentially benefit older realms.
There's obviously a lot about the partnerships that were discussed and sort of highlighted. Does that mean we've got these? There was mentioned in one of the mediums in the last week potentials for Genesis sneakers to be paired off with these new potential partners, and that could create some new real world benefits and spin-offs from there.
Yeah, so that's everything we have been considering is to, 1, bridging the real and the virtual world, and 2, to bring users that wasn't part of the ecosystem will run 1 and 2 to the Stepn basically.
So there's a really big one right there. Obviously talking, what benefits is it going to bring to realm 1 and 2, and GST is one of the biggest ones. So can we talk a bit about that, Yawn? I know it's obviously going to be, it's very important to the community. We talked about it heavily last town hall.
Yes. So I do see there's a lot of questions about the GST floor price or the GST prices, and basically people are having this objective of meeting their ROIs. But again, I think we addressed this last time that we cannot just simply go back and burn GST. It will pretty much provide zero. Well, basically provide zero benefit to anyone in the long terms. And we've done the modeling before, as I said, is that we can spend all the money we made, and we probably can support the floor price, the GST price for a couple of weeks, and then that's it. So we won't have the ability to maintain if we burn everything to just buy GST and burn it, because that doesn't resolve the fundamental issues. The fundamental issue is how do we bridge and getting the runners and people looking for exercise and the general public to the app. But what we'll do is we continue will provide support to the round 1 and 2 by continuing to marketing to the Web2 audience, introduce more token sneaker burning mechanics, and use the profit to buy back and burn from round 3 and from the profit of Q2, and also focus on address the longer term of the longevities of the app is to bring the GMT earnings. So again, there will be no simple solution to the GST price, and also considering that we are in a pretty bad recession, Q1, Q2 the U.S. GDP is negative now, so we are technically in a recession now. And but we do believe that the cycle will end, the bear market will leave, and we do still maintaining that GMT earning will be the main source of ROI for people on the round 1 and 2. So for people that are questioning the GST earning, they just need to bear with us for a bit longer, and then we'll introduce the GMT earnings. Because once we introduce the GMT earning, we'll naturally have a balance with the GST, where portion of the user will starting to earn the GMT, and with the latest several changes on the gems, because now let's say comfort gem becomes some form of a mandatory requirement for restore HPs, meaning that people have 3 choices of earning GST or selling gems. Go with the gem sneaker, luck sneaker, or with the GMT earnings, and then we'll basically introduce a different mode to address on the resilience. So once we can introduce more playstyle where player will be focusing on earning other form of NFT or tokens, you will looking at the GST sell pressure be much alleviated.
So with the HP system, the health point system, you're talking heavily about that, relying that as a great option to potentially burn these comfort gems. Do you want to go a little bit deeper into that?
It doesn't. I mean, it will not having an immediate effect to anything, because we are talking about a long-term token thing. So people probably will only start to buy some comfort gems months after, when they actually need to restore their HP, or when they are considering about selling their sneakers, that they have to restore the HP to full in order to sell it. So it is really to address the infinite lifespan of NFTs, rather than like creating like a massive token thing, because it feel like that if we do that, it become like a punishing the users. But we are actually trying to address the sort of infinite infinite lifespan of NFTs. So it's 2 different things.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch the marketplace go crazy for the comfort gems today off that announcement. So they're selling very cheap. So obviously people reacted straight away and went and bought red gems. So it definitely did make a change this morning. Very cool. Thank you. I appreciate the extra clarification on the health points. I know people straight away were going heavy into it. Well, hang on, you're picking on people with common sneakers. So that is good clarification. Do we have a timeline on when we're going to be launching the multi-chain DEX or trading pairs as well? There's a big emphasis on the trading pairs. Do we have any timelines for that?
You mean the DEX? We are looking at August to open the front end where people can explore, because that's where we are considering doing like LP pairs, all the standard DEX features. And then we have a few additional features that haven't been offered by other DEX. We also want to introduce.
Other features. You've got us thinking now. So obviously it's become an AMM in the meantime. Dora is more than just the DEX at the moment, isn't it? Because the trading pairs are there. People just can't add liquidity.
Yeah, so once we open the front end, definitely people can start to add liquidity, they can create trading pairs, and we are exploring that. Just provide like a maximum convenience for people. For example, that if you want to create a trading pair, you have to have like let's say GMT USDC. You have to have both tokens. But we are trying to work out a solution that you can just have one token. Then you can just have GMT, and then you create trading pairs for GMT USDC.
Very cool. Just going through the community questions here. So, in the next month or 2 months, what can we talk to see in the next couple of months in the foreseeable future?
Let's say I'm trying to push the Stepn water out in a few months. So I like to see that on the market relatively soon, because we will need that for giveaway event. Selling on the website if possible. That's something that I'm working. And on the technical side, it's really about continue to add features and maintaining the Abrams. Yeah, I mean, it will be. I think I can talk about what's gonna happen in a month. I mean, 2 to 3 months time. Well, we're probably gonna touch on things that we cannot immediately release. So I think we don't want to give too much like a long-term promise. We are now focusing on the short-term promise and shipping product. So yeah, I think Abrams, that's one. GMT use cases will introduce a few other interesting mechanics before the 15th of August to do with gems. So we will make a thread once we have the feature done. Yeah, so that's about how much I can talk about. People will find out in due times. We'll basically once we have the product feature done, we'll have some tweet talk about it.
All right. Big question for GMT. We keep hearing when will GMT be earning? So obviously the team's pivoting very heavily. We need to hit that certain level of GMT. Can we talk a little bit about when that may possibly come about?
We actually have to consider a lot of things because GMT earning, I think that will be the turning point, and also entering the next phase. So we need to make sure that when people are earning GMT, the earning are making sense, right? So we need to consider how much or how many GMT they can earn, and also that earning is comparable, to sort of what we consider like a standard earning, so that people don't think, that doesn't make sense, right? I'm making like 0 point something. So that's the thing we need to consider, right? So we need to be really careful, and that's the reason that we want to burn a lot before we do anything. And I think in the last month, the balance has burned 57 million from the BNB chain, and we pre-burned 50 million so that we can facilitate the GMT bridge to the Ethereums. And before that, I think roughly 200 million have been burned. So I think we are getting there with the GMT earnings. It's just that we have to time it right as well. As we speak, we're probably going to see the CPI for the US market today. We're going to see, and then on the 27th, we're going to see how the Fed react with their interest hike as well. So again, external environment is extremely hostile and unstable. So I think we need to consider more of a holistic pictures for GMT earning. As far as I'm concerned, GMT earning is something that I want to push out, but we also have to be realistic about the current circumstances, right? If it's a bull market, we just say, we can just do it. But in the current condition, we have to be cautious.
Very cool. So if the market was to potentially change in the second half of the year, third, fourth quarter, could that potentially influence the team's decision, or it also comes down to being heavily reliant on getting to that burn point? Yeah. And all of the data on the main website, stepn.com, that is that 24 hours difference, or is that all live for the burning?
It's live. We
All
keep
right.
live status on the website.
It's definitely one that's obviously on everybody's mind because GST is low and people are kind of thinking, well, we can get there, but it is good to talk about. The panda skin. We hear about the panda skin a fair bit over the last few months, but haven't heard much about it since last town hall.
We always trying to find the perfect sort of time to release the panda skin, but with the ape realm, is sort of we feel like if we release too much features, it will adding bit of complexity. So the panda skin will come out after the ape realm release, where we can. So once we have the ape realm running for a little bit, we feel comfortable with the mechanics, then we will release the panda skin. It basically it's been done, but we're just trying to time it for the release.
And the big one is there, Yawn, that launches us straight into the hot topic question of when Ape Realm.
I think, we will give a bit of a head up before we open it. I think we have around 24 hours before the ape sneaker claim close. So we will make some announcement after the claim closed, and then with the timings. So expect some announcement during the weekend.
So potentially this weekend, is that what you're saying, Yawn? Sorry.
Yeah.
So there's one thing that a lot of the time we're tied in. We're needing the apps to be approved through Apple Store and Google Store for them to make those happen. So that a lot of the time, the team, you've had updates ready to push live, but just getting those final things approved. So just as a clarification, so people understand, the snapshots will be taken and stopped 24 hours before we go live. So that's awesome. So we're going to be told people still have time if they want to prepare those last enhancements or have a chance of getting a ticket and entry.
Yeah, still have time. So we will let people know beforehand so they don't, they get prepared. They will let people know.
Right. I think we saw it. Obviously, we touched on it a little bit earlier tonight. The anti-cheating mechanism. We've been very huge on the data security, privacy, and regulation as well. Can you talk a little bit about that one for us, Yawn?
Yeah. So we actually are still shifting on the SMAC. We basically adding new algorithms and we are improving on that. Again, that's one of the I think competitive advantage we have. And we will talk about edge computations, basically to bring anti-cheating on a local devices. Like for example, using mobile. We discovered that edge computations it cannot be used alone. We spend a lot of time trying to figure out what can we do about it, and we are now upgrading our the SMAC. So from machine learning to federated learning. So it is the technology that go hand in hand with edge computations, where will ensure maximum privacy. Basically, no private information will be transferred out of the user's devices. It's actually been deduced at users' devices, and then the learnings will be then transferred to the server for improved on the anti-cheating algorithms, because that is supposed to how it works, because to train the the anti-cheating mechanics or the AI, you will need a lot of data, but with data privacy concerns, also GPS stuff like that, using edge computation will be a good workaround solutions. So now edge computation and federation learnings are the newer version of the SMAC. I think we are improving that from first generation now to the fourth generation. We basically are continuing improving on that. So basically, we are using technologies to make the entire model feasible.
Sorry, I just wanted to chime in. So basically, in machine learning, the principle is that your output is as good as your input. For getting the best model, you have to feed the best data in. Where is the best data? The best data is in your phones. However, we don't want access, we don't want to store that data. And what federated learning does is use that data to train our models without storing it. So a decentralized way to train centralized models. And that's why in combination with edge computing, it becomes so powerful to give us the best AI models and yet complete privacy and security to your data as we don't have to store it.
So yes, and yeah, very good explaining. And is still, I think with AI algorithms is pretty much never ending improvement. I think we are working, the whole AI team is pretty much working day and night to improve on the outcomes on the anti-cheatings. And we believe that, to only reward the people that truly exercised is the only way that we can make this scale. Any way that we cut corners, we don't believe that will work out eventually. So we invest very, very heavily in our machine learning technologies. And I'm very actually pleased with the result that we were able to pull out. So this is really beyond blockchain technology. And I believe that this is not related to blockchain, but I do believe that this is actually the centerpiece of the entire project, and also the longevities of the project.
It's also something that potentially becomes a very valuable asset down the track as well, doesn't it? So you could possibly take it into many other markets.
Yes, because really this is like a super niche industry. I mean, before us, I don't see the need for really anyone to care so much about proving if a person is actually walking or running.
Yeah, it's nothing that many spaces really talk about the actual viability of that itself being a product. SMAC is another product which is a part of Stepn.
Yep.
We've pretty much come to our hour. There was two big questions I wanted clarity just for people listening in, because there's definite missings and confusion out there. But Bored Ape Yacht Club, we saw some great numbers from that in the first 24 hours, and that's got 24 hours left now. Yawn, did you want to touch on that, or Shiti, would you like to touch on that for the remaining 24 hours? People have still got plenty of time to get in there and claim their OG ape sneaker.
Yeah, we have let's say 25 hours before we close the claim. So yeah, I will urge that people that do have a friend or own apes that last chance. So we're not really trying to push them, but again, 24 hours before they can get it.
One of the other ones is the energy bridge. Now, it sounds simple, but a lot of people are still very confused because there's a little bit of mixed guessing, maybe hoping that it might change and there might be percentages and stuff like that. But can we just clarify that just so everybody's aware coming into Realm 3 launch, how that's going to work?
I think we do draw the learnings that we need to separate the energy completely across different realms, but we also do want to give new realms a kickstart for people that do holding previous realms asset. So, that's the reason we provide energy bridge. So I think the confusion is the energy separation between the energy bridge. So energy separation is where you have, let's say, 30 sneakers on Solana, you have 20 energy, and then you have 30 sneaker on BNB chain, you have 20 energy, and these two energy are separate from each other, and that's one, and it will be separate on 8 rounds. But to have people giving is more like giving perks to all the realms. Having, let's say, if you want to be on ape realm and having, let's say, 4 energy to start, you don't have to buy 3 pair of sneakers on ape realms. You can just buy 1 sneakers on each of the realms, meaning that you will having 1 energy from Solana realms, you have 1 energy from the BNB realms, and then have 2 energy on the ape realms. Then in total have 4. But this 4 energy doesn't stay there forever, right? For the first month you have 4 energy, and then on the second month you have 3. So you can see that the energy bridge will diminish, and then on the third round you have 2 left. If we have in the fourth round, you have 3 rounds, each adding 1, and then as time passes by, the energy will diminish. So that that's sort of the how the energy bridge work now. 1 is diminished return, and 2 limit to 1 energy per round. So that's the 2 key takeaways.
Definitely, definitely pretty easy to understand there. So energy is completely separate. You can have up to 60. So I'd recommend people being very careful how far down the energy tree you're going to go. That's 5 hours a day. So it's really a full-time thing, but simple to understand. You'll get +2 energy for the first month with 1 common sneaker being the 4 like Yawn's gone through. So in the second month, that's halved +1 bonus. And no rewards go back to Solana or Binance, do they, Yawn, from having sneakers on Ethereum?
No.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, no.
Awesome. Look, we've gone through it. That's been over the hour. Any kind of alpha, anything coming up on the horizon, Yawn?
I think we discussed a lot. Abrams. We talk about the Dora. We talk about the the water brand we're trying to do. Panda Skin. There are several partnerships coming up with the other realms, providing additional benefit. So we basically just for next month we actually can talk about more on NFT marketplace. That's something interesting that we're building. I think that's how much I can say. And also we'll basically keep on track with GMD earnings timeline and also monitoring on external market. So yeah, I think that will be the agenda for next town hall.
Yeah, the marketplace, everyone's very excited about that, seeing it, and the roadmap changes as well. So seeing it coming up on there. That's amazing.
And also, I also want to address a few things on the roadmap. So we removed a few things from the roadmap because for things that we already built, we actually remove it because we don't see the need to put it on the roadmap. Roadmap is really for things that we hasn't built.
Yeah, we did see some slight adjustments to it though, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a minor adjustment, but all the major stuff are still there.
Very cool. We have gone past. I'm sure there's going to be many questions through the week. Yeah, great, great town hall, Yawn. It's good to have you back on. It's kind of hard for us, isn't it, as a community? We've got that legacy where we were used to having the team every week, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
long month, so it was super awesome to see Maple going on K Train's YouTube, sorry, Twitter, and doing a session there, and it's awesome to see Shiti on the weekend going onto the community podcast. So, any kind of closing thoughts on tonight? Then, you want anything else you want to get through before we call it a night?
I think it's very easy for people to grow very pessimistic about the future outlook in a bear market. But I think we have a very strong fundamentals, and we do have a team that continue to deliver, and even in the sort of the coldest crypto winter, that we still believe that this space will be the leading industry in the future. So I think again, we do want people to see us as a long-term project, and to get through this bear market with us. So and we are 100% confident that we'll get it through.
I just want to add to that. So longevity, like Yawn said, is our priority. And for that to happen, compliance with Apple and Google becomes a priority. And in line with that, we will be releasing multiple phases of UI and UX changes, again, in line with mission of bridging Web 2 Web 3. So very shortly, you will see us releasing a web-based marketplace so that Stepn users can access the marketplace on their desktop browsers by logging onto their Stepn account via email. It will also be accessible on stepn.com, and the experience will still be very similar or improved on our, as in our mobile app. So I just wanted to capture that in the end because we discussed so much that it doesn't get lost.
Yeah, and that's the reason that we want to talk about NFT marketplace in the next month, because we're having some very ambitious plans. It's really like, you know, the Dora, which is a DEX. We do want to bring external users to our DEX and down the track our NFT marketplace.
There's definitely a lot to think about for the community, a lot discussed tonight, especially with Realm 3, the new app updates, lots of changes there, and obviously great results from DOR Q2 profits through that. Jerry, have you got anything for us to finish off with tonight? Have you got any closing thoughts?
I think Yawn concluded everything very well, and nothing special from my side. The team is working well. The team is working hard to deliver more, exciting features in the future. So just still stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. It's awesome. We didn't get to have a closeout last month. We lost power in South Australia, so that didn't help. It was a bit of a, like we mentioned that panda skin and bang, it was power out. Any extra thoughts, Shitty, before we call tonight a wrap?
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap. All right, everyone, be safe. There's lots of things happening, even in a bear market. Make sure you're safe out there. We've seen a lot of hacks going out as of recent. NFTs being sent to wallets. People acting as team members and asking for you to click on links and these kinds of things. So, as always, make sure you don't give away private details, seed phrases, email passwords, and definitely make sure going forward, if you're going to be going into websites on your computer, you have the right security involved in that. So there's definitely a lot of information as ambassadors and content creators and stuff that we'll have to do to help people. But definitely there's plenty of other live spaces you can join. My own, you've got K-Train, you've got James Work doing the community podcast. There's a lot of really great community members that are building out and really helping. And it's great to see the ambassadors programs growing. That means we've got more hands on deck. And it's good to see we're spreading out and doing a lot of these live events. I'd love to thank Yawn, Jerry, and Shiti for another great town hall. It's July. It's the middle of July. It sounds like we've still got a little bit of time to get some enhancing done. And otherwise, you'll get the warning 24 hours before we get in the realm. So super exciting stuff. Thank you very much, everyone, and we will see you next month.
Okay, thank you, Barndog, and stay safe.
Thanks all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. So that's basically the official live AMA. They mentioned a lot of different things here. There's definitely a lot to think about with the new stuff that they just mentioned. I definitely have to process it and try to figure out. I need to listen back on this because I was mostly, especially in the beginning, I was setting this up, not really paying attention. Let me see if I could come to the camera here. There we go. In the beginning, I was basically just listening. Whoa, what is this color? There we go. I was listening. I was trying to set up the stream and all that, so I didn't get to listen to. I missed the beginning a little bit, and I was focusing on just making sure everything was running smoothly. So I'm gonna hear this back, and I'll probably do a recap of the AMA this week. So that's pretty much what I'll be doing. I'm looking to see if there's any breakdown of the AMA yet. Usually it's probably like a little bit after. If there's a breakdown, I could go over it real quick. I know like Crypto Ed usually does a breakdown, and a few other people. Don't currently see anything here on Twitter right now. Let me see. Let me refresh one more time to see if anything, if anyone put anything out. Let's see. What did you guys think? What did you guys think about anything? Anything interesting? Any questions you have about anything that was covered in the AMA today? Let me know in the comments. I'm looking to see if there's any breakdowns right now. I know one of the main things that people were asking about was probably this here, which was the new update that's coming with the health points. So that was covered in the first part of AMA where I wasn't really listening too much, but from what I think I heard was that it's going to be the higher your rarity your sneaker has, then the less you lose health points on your sneaker. So you'd have to worry about it a little bit less. And he compared it to doing an oil change on your car. So it's not like it's something that's gonna have to do every single day. The same way that it's currently set up for, what do you call it? For durability. So it should be different than durability. I love when people come in here yelling scam with no reason, like just you're an echo chamber that doesn't have your own thought. Like, come on, if you're gonna say something, I don't mind you being critical of the project, but be constructive with it. Don't just be an echo chamber without having an original thought. You know what I mean? If you're gonna come and criticize, I don't mind criticism. I love hearing everybody's opinions, but be constructive with it. Don't be an echo chamber without an original thought. Most people that yell scam don't even know the definition of scams or Ponzi's. Have an original thought, be constructive with it, and we'll listen. We can have a conversation. But yeah, I haven't seen any updates here. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna refresh one more time. If there's no update here on the breakdown, then I'll just save it for the next video. I don't want to make this one any longer than it is already. We'll talk about real quick about the update here for the HP for the new people that might have missed it, because this came in probably like 6 hours ago, 6-7 hours ago was when they had set it up. Let me see here. What? Sneaker enhancement changes. I didn't see this part. Or I think they added this in after, didn't they? Let me see. Yeah, because this wasn't. Okay, so this wasn't even here when I read it. That's crazy. All right, so let's go over this real quick. As you guys can see, there was an update earlier this morning. They said that in our efforts to implement an additional token sync and bring relevance to comfort attribute prior to GMT earning being released, we're introducing a new attribute, health points. So as you guys know, the way that you balance out usually inflationary rewards tokenomics is by also introducing sinks into the game. A sink is a burn mechanism, basically. So as you're rewarding out coins, you also need to be able to burn coins to kind of balance out the economy of the token, right? So the issue right now with GST is that there's a lot more rewards being given out than there's GST tokens being burned. So what happens is it causes inflation. When it causes inflation, that means that the value of the coin is going to basically drop forever, right? Unless you can counter that with burn mechanisms. So that's the biggest issue with reward systems and play to earn games, is people haven't figured out how to combat that inflation yet at a sustainable rate. So basically this update is bringing another sink into the game. However, from how they described it, it doesn't seem like it's really going to be much of a sink. The biggest sink that we had previously was minting. But because minting is not very profitable right now, there's a lot less people minting. So that's one of the big issues with the value of GST at this moment. It continues on saying, what is HP? HP is basically similar to durability. We're adopting a dual decay system to ensure that the game remains sustainable for a long time to come. Number 2, the HP attribute will be displayed in the sneakers background in the capsule. I forgot that I'm still on my face. There we go. Okay, so that there breaks down, it's similar to durability. It's a decay feature, and it's gonna happen in the background, right? How does it work? Moving will lead to HP decaying. The degree of decay is affected by the amount of energy used, the sneaker quality, and the comfort stat. Higher the stat, lower the decay. To restore HP, you will be required to burn a mix of comfort gems, GST, and GMT. So if you guys looked at the market recently, you'll notice that comfort gems have gone up in value, and that's because of this announcement. Let's see, moving will lead to HP decaying. Yeah, so that's just breaking down how it works, depending on energy use, sneaker quality, and comfort. So this is, again, similar to durability. The difference here is going to be the sneaker quality, because with durability, sneaker quality doesn't matter. What matters is resilience. So here, sneaker quality is going to be a factor, and comfort stat. So with durability is just energy used, and resilience stat here is going to be energy used, sneaker quality, and comfort stat. So I think the reason that they're including sneaker quality to this is because of of the current prices, right? So current prices, due to the enhancements, now they're trying to combat that, and because now uncommon sneakers and rare sneakers are all really cheap, right? So this might be to directly try to affect the sneaker qualities of uncommon, rares, and epics. Let's see what else. Whoops, didn't mean to click that. Things to note about HP. Part 1, all sneakers start with 100% HP. HP under 20% equals that the sneaker cannot be counted to provide energy in that realm. So if your health points is under 20%, you lose energy. It won't affect your energy in the realm. HP to 0, sneaker cannot be used for moving. So that part is similar to durability. Things to note about HP part 2. HP needs to be 100% to list sneaker on the marketplace or to transfer. HP is a long-term token sink. An example, high quality sneakers can take years before it needs HP restoration. So again, they're trying to give more of a reason for higher quality sneakers to be worth more, to be more valuable. Things to know about HP part 3. After a sneaker is minted, HP will not decay for the first 48 hours. Higher sneaker quality will require higher restoration cost. All right, so the first part is different than durability. Second part, the higher sneaker quality, the higher require higher restorations. Yeah, so the higher sneaker quality, the more it's going to cost to restore it. But because you have a higher quality, you do less restoration is needed, right? 7 out of 10, sneaker enhancement changes. So this one's actually new to me. I didn't even notice this one last night because I was already like half asleep. Sneaker enhancement changes. 1, to perform sneaker enhancements, sneakers are required to have a mint count of at least 3. So that means that in order to enhance your sneaker, if your sneaker does not have 3 mints, you cannot enhance it. So that's interesting because now it feels like shoes with 3 mints or more might become more valuable than shoes with 0, 1, or 2 mints, right? 8 out of 10 mystery box changes. Rewards will be getting better, but so will the cost to open mystery boxes. Who will be the first to find out what the new surprise await you in the higher quality mystery boxes? So again, that's something that's needed. I've been underwhelmed by mystery boxes. I don't have a lot of luck, but I've been opening up like level 5, level 6 mystery boxes. There haven't really been anything that's like, wow, amazing, incredible, it's so worth it, right? It is profitable, but because of GST prices are so low, but nothing to brag about. If you guys follow my channel, if you're subscribed, you have seen what I've opened up in my mystery boxes. 9 of 10, Realm 3 tweaks. We will make some temporary adjustments to kickstart things in Realm 3. Mint cooldown will be 48 hours. Mint cost will be 90 GST and 10 GMT. For a common sneaker mint, higher quality shoe mint costs are adjusted accordingly, and mint costs might be changed in the future. So I think I spoke about this on Monday's live stream. I expected some sort of change for minting costs for the new realm because they need to incentivize minting. They need it to be profitable so that the marketplace, the sneakers, don't go insane as far as pricing like they did on Realm 2. So I was able, that was pretty much, I knew that would come somehow, right? And then the last one, we hope you're excited as we're about the changes. Remember to tune in for the town hall. So the last one is nothing. But yeah, so that's the latest update that we've got from them. Let's see what happens from here. I'll do a recap video, recap AMA probably at some point this week. I might try to record it today and have it out by the end of the week. Let me see if we finally got anything here as far as a recap of what just happened in the AMA. No, it doesn't. I don't see anything. So yeah, so I'll just do a recap. I'm gonna end this off. We've been live for over an hour already, about an hour and a half. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys on the next one once I put that next one up. So I'm reading some of the comments here. No mentions at all about scrolls today. Yeah, they didn't mention scrolls at all. I would like for scrolls to be more common and easier to get in the in mystery boxes. I've opened up a ton of mystery boxes. I haven't gotten out one common scroll, which is the only thing that's really valuable, right? No info about the GeckoCon Stepn badge either. No info about CoinMarketCap badge. They didn't speak about badges at all. But all right, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll have a video out doing a recap on this probably in the next day or two. So catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Make sure to smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. And I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, peace and love.
If I push it, I go to 30.
What's going on, guys? So today, the first official live event for Stepn here in Miami. We already got people showing up. It's still not even time yet. It's about 6:20 or so. We had 300 sign up.
I dropped 130 pounds less than a year. Dedicated all to walking.
All to walking.
All to walking. I got 11 shoes now. I'm excited. I want to get to 15. And if I push it, I go to 30.
Right now, while we're walking, we're earning. How old are you? Let them know how old you are.
I'm 10.